I need to stand. Hello, friends, family, um, peers, enemies. Nah, I don't have any enemies. Okay, this is already so weird. Oh, I thought it was already 2 minutes. This is my biggest fear, is literally just speaking on camera. This is like the worst. I don't even know if I want to use this mic. I don't even know if it sounds good. Okay, why are we here today? What's going on, Este? You might be wondering. Maybe. Not me like crashing out for 3 minutes straight and not saying anything. That's insane. My name is Este. This is not a podcast. You might know me from my music on my covers, but it's July. And today I wanted to rank my first 6 months of 2025 and what God's been teaching me in each month. This is very different for me. This is giving me the same vibes of like, you know, when you just like do something really embarrassing for like the first time and it's really embarrassing, but I want to be honest about it. This is probably a little bit embarrassing, and that's okay. It's been part of something that God's been teaching me. Pretty much this whole year, my goal has been to be consistent and not perfect. Not letting perfection be the goal, but letting consistency be the goal. I just kind of wanted to talk about my journey with that this year so far, because this is like the first year that I've tried to really take seriously what God's been calling me to and what God's been asking me to do. And so this is a part of that. And if you don't want to watch it, like, that's actually fine. I'm actually okay with that. I'm doing my best to be faithful to the call. Doing my best to be faithful, even though I really don't enjoy this. But I probably will at some point, you know? This is just the first of many, I think. I'm gonna go through my camera roll. This is my pink iPhone with Jesus on it. Yep, just a reminder that he is the GOAT. Whoa, nah, I don't like saying that. My bestie. I've also wanted to make this video really easy for me to make. Usually it's so hard because I feel like I have to stay locked into a certain style of editing, like a certain style of doing things. But today I was like, why not just make it really easy for myself? I didn't even do my makeup today. I got a pimple patch right here. I'm just gonna be really honest about that. I really wanted to make this easy for myself so that, you know, it'll be easier to be consistent. So if you're struggling with consistency, struggling with being disciplined, make it as easy for yourself as possible. Whatever God's asking you to do, just do it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so lots of fun things happened in January. I was probably at like a 2 out of 10, starting off really strong. Basically, January was the pits. Like, I don't know how else to describe January. It was just the worst. We did some really fun things though. We got to like rest a lot, like physically, which is actually nice. Maybe that was like the one thing that I probably rate like 5 out of 10. Mentally and spiritually, we were probably 1 or 2 out of 10, to be honest. I think me personally, I felt really lost in January because I was navigating through a lot of things in my heart that had come out in the last year. And I think for me, last year was extremely refining, probably like the last like 2 years, really. God has been teaching me a lot in the last couple of years about life, about how to love people, about how to receive love from him, like, and what all of these things actually look like. And I think January was the result of my poor choices over the last couple of years, like not being able to say no to people, just not being aware of how to steward well the things that God has given me to steward, which includes like my time, my marriage, my heart, my ministries, like all these things, right? Basically, January was just like not great in my brain, but we did a lot of fun things. So I think we went to the river at one point with Isaiah's family. Isaiah and I got to hang out a lot, which was really, really fun. We got to go to a place in the hills, just kind of get out of the city a bit and be together, because I think I was really struggling. I'm super grateful for my husband because he was just very present and very there for me, which I really, really needed. And I think what I found so far, we've been married for like 2 years now, is that we have to be willing to like carry each other in certain seasons. So sometimes it's going to be harder for me and he's going to have to carry a bit more. Other times he's really going through some stuff and navigating some things and I have to be the one to carry him a bit more. And I think that's how God created it to be. But yeah, we were kind of in like that kind of space for a while, but I'm really grateful because the lesson that we learned in January is that rest is only really found in Jesus. We could go on a bunch of holidays and we could go on a bunch of vacations and a bunch of getaways and do all the things, but never really find rest. The rest that I was actually looking for was found in Jesus only. The other thing that he taught us was that honestly, the enemy was really trying to isolate us at the same time. I think that's why it is so important for us to lean into community at this time. And I didn't realize that, you know, we had so many people praying for us, which was so beautiful because we did not have this strength. I was trying to like cover up the things that I thought that people didn't really want to know, or the really hard stuff, the stuff that seemed really messy in my heart. Like I was so terrified of just like putting it all out on the table for anybody to see, because I just wanted to be perceived as like perfect, or like be perceived as like I got it all together, you know, which is like the complete opposite of what God has been teaching me. And I'm so grateful that that's like who God is, that he actually isn't terrified of like my mess, and he doesn't want me to hide it all. That was what I was really grateful for in January. Even though it was so hard at the start, I think it ended really well. Like it was a beautiful month by the end of it, and gave me so much hope for the rest of the year. But that one was kind of long. It was probably like the worst month at all. So going on to February. Okay, awkward. My camera literally ran out of storage because I was talking so much. Okay. February was honestly so fun. I think it carried on from the end of January. So around that time, we were hanging out a lot with my family who came from Malaysia. There was just a lot of family time going on, and it was so much fun. Like my cousin's daughter, her name is Faith. She came over at the end of January. I don't know if you've met someone who's like, you literally meet them and they're like a younger version of you. That's what Faith is with me. Like it's the funniest thing ever. And as I just kept saying the whole time, it's like, you guys are like the same person. I'm like, I freaking know. It's so much fun. She's like this like 10-year-old, and she's just so cute, like so cute. And then also like my grandparents came over from Malaysia, and we had a lot of family time because it was like Chinese New Year as well. Actually, we went to this like really nice Airbnb really near the beach. The footage I got was incredible because I was like, imagine if you just lived here every single day. I probably would never be sad ever in my whole life. And then it was my cousin's birthday, so at this other Airbnb, we had this like pool competition going on. My uncle and Isaiah played against each other, and it was just the funniest thing ever because Isaiah totally beat him so bad. And it was just so fun. Like it was just like really wholesome family time. I didn't think I was that good at pool, but I think I'm getting better, which is weird. Mentally, I was in a better place. I think I still felt a little bit weak, but I was really grateful because I had community around me. I had like leaders who were speaking into us, and yeah, mentally and spiritually, I felt extremely supported. Even just being around family really helped a lot as well. I felt like I was also getting into a really good rhythm with making music and making videos, and I saw a lot of growth from that, which is really cool because again, like I'm not doing any of this to be perfect. I have like goals in mind, but I find that when I set some kind of expectation and it doesn't work out the way that I think, I just get super discouraged and really disappointed really quickly. I found that I've had to be really rooted in like what God has actually asked me to do this year. I don't think I've ever heard God say to me, and he can't do this, but I haven't felt God be like, you need to reach this many listeners, or you need to reach this many people, or get this many followers. And I'm really grateful for that because being faithful is the goal. Like being consistent in what he's asked me to do is the goal. The reward for that is God's delight, and just being super grateful that he's with me in all of it. So yeah, I would say February was like a 6 out of 10. It's really cool that I get to meet some really cool people in the music industry and hear their stories. Just hopefully like just be a light, I guess. I understand not everyone who listens to my music is Christian. Like on Instagram I say that it's like Christian music, but if you listen to the songs directly, it's like you're not gonna be like, that is a Christian song. I think that's just what God has been asking me to do. It might not be forever, I don't know, but for right now that's what it looks like, and I'm really grateful. Going into March, I'm trying to be faster with these. March was also really fun. Felt like Isaiah and I were getting into a good rhythm of rest. At the start of this year, I'd read this book, Your Life in Rhythm. I'll put it on the screen. It actually changed my life. It actually just changed how I approached my days and my weeks. We honestly did not rest at all last year, which is like insane. We really tried to lock in times for us to rest, what that looks like in the whole year, what that looks like in each quarter of the year, monthly, daily, and weekly as well. It was something that we realized that we really needed, and if we didn't have that personally as well, it just ruined my creativity, my productivity. I didn't realize how important rest really was, especially serving at church and trying to be creative daily, trying to be disciplined in the things that I want to be disciplined in. I actually really need rest. I'm not creative if I don't rest properly. Not just resting physically, but resting mentally too. That's like probably like the biggest thing is actually resting mentally. March was really good because I think we were starting to see the results of resting well. I was really excited in March too because I was like preparing to release my first song. March was awesome. April, I have nothing bad to say about April. She was a 10 out of 10 for me. My first song of the year dropped at the start of the month. I felt so blessed because I had all my friends, all my family. They surprised me with a cake on the day of the release. I wasn't expecting any of this, right? Because I was like, oh, I'm just releasing another song, like who cares? But people just went like above and beyond to bless me because it was a really big deal that I was releasing music again, because I had just given up on it for like a couple of years because I felt like God was just like, oh, just put it on hold for a while. And then once I put it on hold, I was like, I don't even want this anymore. God was like, it's time. It's time to come back. And I was like, no! It was the first song that I'd released in about 2 years. Really grateful for my church and really grateful for my friends and my family. And it was just like so random that people were doing that, but I felt so loved because it was a really big deal for me. And I was very much like, I'm doing this out of faith. Having the people around me support me in that first moment was very, very special to me, probably more than people realize. I loved April. May, I'd say, was like an 8 out of 10. So we're coming back down from a 10, but it's still pretty good. Zion and I celebrated 2 years of marriage on the 5th of May. I think mentally I was starting to question some things because at the end of May, I released the next song. And this is probably when I started to feel a bit unsure of what I was doing. I started to get a bit confused with like, you know, why am I even doing this? Why am I even like posting these videos? I literally started to forget that I wanted to be consistent and not perfect because I started to think all of this has to be so perfect. Like I have to make this the best thing ever. And it just became really hard. And it was because I just forgot the reason why I was doing it in the first place. I was really praying about it and really asking God, like, what the heck is happening? Basically, which leads us to June. So this was very recent, obviously. It was only like a few weeks ago. I didn't post at all in June. I had no ideas. Pretty much after In Love, the second song came out, I just like dipped. Because I was just like, I don't want to be doing this for the wrong reasons. And because I had forgotten what God was asking me to do in the first place, I didn't want to just keep going because it just feels like I'm doing it out of wanting to be seen or wanting to be validated, just to be really honest. So it started to look a bit like, I don't really want this, you know? Why am I even doing this when I don't even want it? What is happening in my mind? And at the same time, it felt very refining in some relationships. God was really teaching me just how to be faithful in the little things, not even like big music, like everyone's looking at me, everyone's listening to my music, blah blah blah. None of that. It was very much like, how's your marriage? How are you doing as a wife? How are you doing as a disciple? These things that aren't seen, like how are you doing in these things? Because you can be doing great in all the other things where it's easy to be validated, it's easy to be seen, and it's easy for people to just like compliment. But it's like, what happens if people aren't complimenting? What happens if people aren't watching? What happens if people aren't looking? Because I think around this time I started to feel really discouraged, only because my expectation shifted to being perfect, or I have to get this certain number, and if I don't get this number, then I'm a failure. That is not what God has called me to this year. I think I just started to change the narrative a little bit without realizing. But again, this is why I'm so grateful for my leaders and the people around me, because I think just having conversations about it and just being super open and honest really helped me as well, to just be like, okay, what I could be doing in this moment is I could try to push through and I could try to like do it in my own strength. And honestly, if I did that, I would be doing it in vain, and I wouldn't be doing it for the reason that God was asking me to do it in the first place. Some people might disagree with that, but that's just my conviction. Like I literally cannot bring myself to do that because like I don't even get any good ideas when that's happening. Did I give a rating? I'd say June is like a 3 out of 10. No, actually, I'd say it's like a 4 out of 10. Let's say 4. Because I feel like I learned a lot, and I think I feel better because I'm on the other side of it now, and I'm reminded of the important things. So it feels like I can continue, but when I was in it, I was kind of like, I don't know how long this is going to go for. The other thing I'm really grateful for as well was just being able to just be really close to God in all of it, and knowing that He wants to be in that. He wants to be in my confusion so that He could bring me clarity, which He did. Timing of it also has been really perfect because now I know my blind spots. I know what I need to hold on to be able to keep doing this, which I didn't know before. So I am very grateful for this year so far, and I'm excited for the rest of the year. I might see you again soon if the Lord gives me another video idea. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate whoever is coming with me on the journey, and I hope you have a great week. Jesus loves you, and I love you, and see ya. And I have a new song coming out soon. I don't know when yet, but I'm working on it. Okay, love you, bye. Mwah.